Hey everyone. Okay, so we're taking a look here at these final last words on complex experimental designs, and I'm on slide 12 with your examples. What I wanted to provide space there for you to create some of your own examples and brainstorm what those are. Most of you can really look to your research proposals and your designs for those examples. So just the main thing to keep in mind is that a between subjects factor is one where we have at least two conditions, levels, or groups. Again, same thing. And we are only going to have participants receive one condition, level, or group, and that's it. A within subjects factor means however many conditions, levels, or groups are in that factor, participants are going to experience all of them at one point or another in the study. So you can get some repetition doing between subjects factors, within subjects factors. Remember, some of these factors can be either between or within, just based upon how you prefer to manipulate them in your study. There are some things that are fixed that are only going to be between, like biological sex or ethnicity or your class standing, your socioeconomic status, stuff like that. You can't make within subjects unless if you in some situations waited for people's status to naturally change. But that, I mean, that who knows how long it would take for that to happen? It's not predictable. So bear in mind that for things like creatine supplementation or eating chocolate during the semester, you could make that between one group does that or receives that, the other one doesn't for the whole semester. Or you could make it within maybe half the semester, like if the chocolate eating example is one you want to go for. If you want to make that within subjects factor, you can have half the class eat chocolate for the first half of the semester, the other half of the class abstain from chocolate the first half of the semester, and then at the midway point, flip. So if you had been eating chocolate the last part of the semester, you don't. So that would make that a within subjects factor. So it really depends on what you want to do as a researcher, whether you want to make it between or within subjects, any given factor, with some restriction. So I'm on the last slide of this complex experimental design topic, the summary slide. So factorial designs are great at detecting moderators. Remember, that's the it depends kind of stuff that we talked about. Um, Sometimes moderators are called interactions. They're described in the following ways. You could have a 2 by 2 independent groups factorial design, or a 2 by 3 independent groups factorial design, or a 2 by 3 repeated measures, or a 3 by 3 repeated measures factorial, or a 3 by 3 mixed design, whatever. But just keep in mind as you add factors to your design, you will both make the design more complex and the interpretation will become more challenging. So we talked about that before spring break, how most people do two-way ANOVAs, they're called, factorial designs that have two factors. It's the same thing, because it gives nice information, but it's not overbearing in complexity. If you add a third factor, you can do whatever you'd like, but the main thing is, remember, then you have to talk about three-way interactions. And then you have a bunch of two-way interactions you have to talk about. And then you have those main effects to discuss. So the interpretation can become challenging real fast. As I mentioned, this makes people break out Tylenol bottles and stuff like that. And we don't want that happening. So anyway, yeah, that's a wrap on the complex experimental designs. And by all means, if you have questions about any of it, let me know. Okay, spend time with it, and blessings on your study.